Da chamada, chamada, na cena. Da chamada, 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 na cena.
I feel like every video always starts with me sitting in the front seat of the car. Well, it's no different.
All the ladies hold up.
I've been looking forward to this one in a while because having 3 weddings in 5 days in vastly different parts of Washington was going to be an interesting challenge. I started the trip with some pre-dawn photos at Reflection Lake by Mount Baker. Before winding my way up to Artist Point. Well, it's like 5:40 now. I'm slowly kind of getting going and stuff. Laying in bed, it's like, I don't want to get up. I want to stay in this warm bed as long as possible. And then I start getting going and stuff. Like I'm always glad that if I take an extra 10 minutes. But the couple could be here any minute, so I'm gonna start prepping my gear. Actually, I hear a car, so maybe that's them. And sure enough, there they were. Jackie and Tyler had flown all the way from Florida to get married on a beautiful ridgeline in the North Cascades at sunrise. So if you're gonna elope, you might as well go big. And this spot delivers. This morning was absolutely spectacular. The couple was super fun, their family was a blast, but it was the light that was the real star of the morning. For shooting, I had my Mamiya 6 in its panorama mode. Plus, obviously my digital kit. There's something about this particular setting that just asks for wide cinematic frames. Great, really nice morning. I finally had an elopement that was actually clear up here, which is I've had bad luck lately of like a couple in a row of all foggy, socked in, cloudy elopements and stuff. So it was really nice to finally have a sunny one. So now that we're done, we're gonna slowly change and hang out and stuff, and then we're gonna drive down the mountain and go to Yellow Aster Butte and do a day hike there, take some photos, kind of midday, which isn't necessarily ideal, but it's just the way the schedule worked out. So it'll be a fun challenge for me, just because that's not what I usually do. So it'll be, we'll make it pretty and it'll be epic and stuff. So, yeah. I also had brought my RZ67 with the hope of some just beautiful big negatives to take photos with. But, not everything can go perfectly. But something went weird with my RZ. I don't know what was happening. I tried to take pictures with it, and now suddenly it just won't wind, which is very frustrating. So I have to see if I can figure that out before we go anywhere. What was happening was that the camera just wasn't winding. It wasn't going forward. Now, after pushing every button and lever possible and spending way too long going down Reddit rabbit holes, I realized that the battery was dead. I honestly thought that this was a fully mechanical camera and that it didn't have a battery, or at least that the battery wouldn't make a difference, but it does. And I changed it, and it took 12 seconds, and now it's working good. That said, I've had this camera for like 8 years or something, so 1 battery in 8 years seems like a pretty good efficiency. Lesson learned though. Go check your batteries this winter. During the off season, just change all the batteries on all your cameras. Okay, maybe don't do that. That sounds expensive. All right, back to the actual fun. After the sunrise ceremony, I did a hike with the couple up to Yellow Aster Butte. It was relaxing, it was just daytime, it was a space for them to kind of have their own private moment and reread their vows to just to each other and to nature, so they could have that private space to enjoy their wedding day. After that, we headed down, had dinner with their family at the Airbnb, and headed on our way. I got in last night at like 10:30 or something from the wedding, offloaded cards, and now we're packing again because we're off. This time we're all going on to a wedding because it's a friend. I'm still shooting it and stuff, so quick turnarounds on this triple wedding weekend. Wedding number 2 was in the opposite direction in Long Beach, Washington. About 3 hours southwest of Seattle, but along the ocean coast. This time my family got to come along with me, which is its own joy, but also pressure, because how do you navigate I am here to do my job, but my other job is also to be with my family, and if my family's there, it's usually because they're friends and stuff, and so it's trying to kind of, I don't know, it just is another level of challenge that comes with this particular job. That said, it's also really fun to let my family and my kids see me at work. And then in a place like this, there's a lot of joy to be had. I got to play on the beach with Lena. It was fun to see Nico getting carried around by his other dad, Tad, during the walk.
I taste it, but it's not yours.
And then we got to hang out by the fire late into the night. Time to work. I actually haven't gotten to photograph very many weddings and elopements out on the Washington coast, and so it was really fun to seek ways to make photos and tell the story of the couple within these dunes and grasslands. So this is an area that I came to a ton as a kid, so it kind of feels like I'm completing the circle now, getting to come back here both for my job and with my family.
Forget about love.
This particular place is always windy, which is great for flying kites. Like, they have a giant kite festival here, but it's also pretty awesome for flowing dramatic wedding dresses. Kate and Colin chose to actually get married out on the sand. Like, they brought all the chairs, everybody sat there, and it was pretty perfect.
The warmth of community wrapped
One of my dreams
around
for this weekend was to have Lena take pictures with this half-frame camera and to be able to see the wedding from her perspective. Right after the first kiss, the couple's walking back down the aisle, and I'm doing my normal job of taking pictures of them and stuff. I see this little blonde kid go sprinting out of her seat, huge smile on her face. She stands right next to me with her camera, and it jammed. Oh my gosh. I could just hear her devastation, and like, in my professionalism, like, I have to shut this out. Like, this is what I mean, that it can be hard to be a dad and a photographer when you're trying to do them both simultaneously, because like, I can hear my child being sad. I can hear the disappointment. I can hear her wanting so bad to be able to do what I'm doing, to work together, to make her photos and stuff. But also, I have to be that heartless professional, and like, my job is to take the photos. And so like, I had to just shut her off, and Erica came over and helped calm Lena down and stuff. But it was a very interesting moment of that. And obviously, like, I'm sad about the loss of the photos, because that would have been so cool, because she was standing right there. I want to see what she saw in that moment, how she wanted to make that photo. Luckily, I had another disposable camera, so she had a camera to play with, but it's still As the sun set, I took Katie and Colin out into the dunes for some very moody photos here on my Hasselblad 500 CM, which I really love both for the waist level viewfinder, just because that's such a different perspective than what my eyes see normally. It usually can help me guide how to make good photos. And with that lower viewpoint, it usually makes the couple feel more like a hero popping up out of whatever scene they're standing on. But it's also really fun and easy to make double exposures. You just kind of have this little trick where you take the back off and then wind it and stuff. And so it creates a lot of really good opportunities. It really made some of these frames to be my favorite from the whole weekend. The next morning we woke up, drove back home, a little tiny bit of rest before heading off for wedding number 3 in 5 days. Off for the 3rd wedding of the weekend, and headed over to Leavenworth. I just finished sending another wedding that I finished, some mail, going to the couple, and now 2.5 hour drive, and then do it all over again. I'll admit I'm pretty tired, and this is good, like a quick over and back, even though I love Leavenworth and wish I get more time to spend there and stop and take photos along the way, but I don't know how much I'm going to shoot extra stuff. Because it's just, I need to be back, because you know, I got Lena off to school this morning and I need to be back to take her to the dentist tomorrow morning, so I kind of have to make it fast. Now as I'm driving over, I can't just drive straight. Of course I have cameras laying around and stuff, and I'm always wanting to stop and continue to make photos everywhere I go. This time it was just this long lineup of chairs. I don't know why they were there. Do I even like these photos? I'm not entirely certain. Like, feels like there was something there, but I just never quite tapped into it and didn't get my head to make these photos quite right. But they were interesting and worth stopping for. I feel like I'm cheating. I'm wearing these like yellow tinted sunglasses and everything just looks so magical. And they're also polarized. It's like, yeah, it looks so good. And then I like stop and look outside. Like, oh. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe I should can I figure out how to mount these sunglasses on my camera? It looks way cooler to me than it does when I'm using camera. I rolled into Leavenworth and was quite hungry. Now, there's a problem, because I have a car full of cameras that I will never leave unattended. But I was hungry, and the only fast food in town is McDonald's. Why are you the only fast food that doesn't have an actual vegetarian option? Like, it's not that hard. I'm not asking for a full menu. I'm not asking for a ton, but just something so that I'm not just eating a meal of French fries. Because their French fries are trash. I don't know who in McDonald's marketing is very good at their job, but their French fries are so bad. McDonald's French fries are the worst fast food French fries. Go ahead, tell me in the comments that I'm wrong. They're cardboard at best, but I guess they, did fuel me for my day of photographing. So this is the lodge that we were gonna have the elopement at, and this is definitely not cardboard. There's a very old, very sturdy timber there. I got to spend some quiet time photographing the rings and the dress and the flowers, both with my digital cameras and with the Hasselblad before it was time for the actual ceremony. It was beautiful, intimate, and really, really intentional. And with that, I was done. Well, we just finished sunset photos, so we're going to call it a night, and I got out a little early, which I'm not going to complain about. But that was 3 weddings in 5 days, with very different ones. But it's always a little weird when you've been looking forward to things for a long time, and like they've been on your calendar for a long time, and then they happen. It's equally as weird on this side as it is probably on people who, it was their wedding. But I've got a 2-hour drive home. It might be pretty. I might stop and take pictures, or I might not. You will know now. On my way home, I kept my always stop for photos rule. I got over Blewett Pass, I got into Cleellen for some gas, and there was some time. So out came the Leica CL onto a tripod. I loaded it with Kodak Vision 3 500T film, which just seemed perfect for this setting. Now for the film merits, you might see that there still is an 85B filter on this lens. Now, as it's being nighttime, you would think that I would probably take that off and shoot it with, because that's what tungsten is for, is to balance out. But as so many lights have changed from being like a tungsten-based traditional light to being a more daylight balanced LED, it actually would make things like overly blue if I shot it with the tungsten, like without the filter. And so I just kind of keep the filter on to keep that added balance. And then also it adds a little bit of a bloominess, a little bit of haze to the sky and stuff, and just kind of increases the dreaminess of the photo. And then I finally got home and I was out of gas. I mean, mentally, I drove home, like that wasn't the problem, but like mentally out of gas. 3 weddings in 5 days, over 900 miles of driving. My Prius seat did me absolutely no favors. It was worth every second. I love my job.